So here we're going to be talking about ActiveCampaign Forms and how to create one in ActiveCampaign. You want to follow along? You can click the link down below in the description or the pinned comment to do that. Or even if you want to try ActiveCampaign for free, you can use that link as well. Let's begin. So when you're on your main dashboard, what you want to do is on the left side here, you're going to go to Website. And from there, I am on the Forms section. Given the fact we're creating a form, makes perfect sense, right? So this is going to be what it looks like if you don't have any yet. So we can click on the Create New Form button right here or here, whichever one is best for you. Alright, so moving from top to bottom, we have our form name. Give it a name. This is going to be for you specifically so you know what it's about. Maybe if you want to use your brand or if you're giving away something for free, whatever it's going to be, just so you recognize what this form is all about. Now for me, I have the smaller plan in ActiveCampaign, so I can use the inline form. However, if you do have a bigger upgrade, so if you're in Plus, Professional, or Enterprise, you can use some of the other ones as well, just kind of letting you know about that. So for this, I'm going to be using the inline form. Next, we have our form action right here. So what I want to do here is say subscribe to a list, because that's probably going to be the biggest thing you want to do. So just to kind of give you a spoiler alert here, we're creating a form where once they opt in, they subscribe to a list, and we can use an automation in the process. Okay, so let's do subscribe to a list. Looks good. We're going to select our list, our master contact list. If you haven't changed that around in settings, you can go to your list and create specific lists based upon where you want this to go. Okay, so that's going to be where you add it in, and let's do create form. All right, and so here we have our form, about as basic as it gets. I talked about that when I did my review, but just kind of rambling on. It's at least going to be much easier for you to use, and that's a good thing. So if ever you want to edit something, click on it, and as you can see right here, this is going to be where we can change our headline. So in this example, I'm going to say we're going to be giving away something for free in exchange for someone's email, right? That's how we can do a lead magnet, right? It could be an ebook, a free video, whatever it is, we can actually send it to them in the first automation follow-up. So just as an example, all right, so we have free software cheat sheet. All right, so that's going to be what they're getting. And then right here, add a descriptive message telling what your visitor is signing up for here. So if we click on here, I'm just going to go right here and remove this and add in the description. Give me one moment so you don't have to see me painsfully type in and get all these typos in here. So I'll be right back. All right, so here are the 40 plus best software tools for building and growing your digital business, and I put with some discounts too. So people like getting discounts. It's always a cool thing, right? Maybe an extended trial, maybe bonuses. So I just threw that in there. So now we have our full name and we have email. So let me give you my little spiel about using more of these fields here. As you can see, email is going to be required, which is why it has that little asterisk there. But the more hoops that someone has to jump through, the lower the chances are that they're going to opt in. So ultimately lower conversions. And if you don't believe me, let's just say we had all these boxes where one said first name, one said middle name, one said last name, one said address, one said blood type, one said favorite cereal, one said your date of birth, your first place you were born, and so on and so forth. You're going to be like, all right, I am not jumping through all these hoops. All right, that's a little bit extreme, but it's the same idea here, where if we minimize this to just having email by clicking X right here, it's going to allow us to get the most amount of conversions because there's only one thing they need to do, and it's absolutely required, which is email. Now, the caveat here, or devil's advocate, there might be times when you want their full name. There might be times when you want their address. Maybe there's going to be some times where you want their phone number. I highly recommend that if you want any of those other fields, which you can see right here. So if you did want to use these, you can simply drag and drop it. I just wanted to show you that there, right? If you were going to use those, make sure that it is essential to what you're doing. So like if you add in a phone number, make sure that you're actually going to be maybe calling them, right? For maybe a sales call, or maybe it's going to be for coaching, whatever it's going to be. So whatever fields you use in there, make sure that you are going to be using them. I like using only email because it's required, and obviously they don't have to go through all these hoops. So that's just going to be kind of my recommendation there. So these are going to be fields. Drag and drop them in there if you want to do it, but let's keep it as that, okay? We have our submit button, and we can do something like, I like click here to continue, because it also gives a call to action saying actually like click here. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people that don't realize they need to click a button. I know it's not you. I know you're not one of them, but I've scrolled through a lot of like great Facebook ads where the person's like, how do I download my free ebook? And the person like, oh, so snarkily, is that even a word, snarkily? It sarcastically was like, click the button where it says click here to download, okay? It'll say exactly what to do, and some people won't know, so just don't leave them to like trying to have to figure it out. Be as direct as possible. That's why it's a call to action. You're telling them what to do, okay? So that's my little spiel on that as well. We also have this marketing by ActiveCampaign. I believe you can remove this if you have a higher plan, but these are going to be the contact fields. We have our style right here. So vertical and horizontal. A lot of this is going to be the aesthetics, like if you want to change the background and so on and so forth. I just like this simple and basic stuff. I always do. It's just much easier to do. And right here, so you have to upgrade to a higher plan if you want to remove that. So that's something to keep in mind. And then we have options. Okay, so this is going to save you a lot of time if you want to do it this way. You can do show thank you, or you can go open to a URL. So if you want to just direct them maybe straight to an ebook, if you have the link to it, you can do that. If you want to direct them straight to a YouTube video that you're going to be sending to them, you can do that. So that'll be a really easy way of doing that where they can get what they want immediately. So for example, if you were sending them an ebook, you could send them straight to Google Drive, right? Or maybe Dropbox. You can just get the link where you uploaded it and just go that way. However, what you can also do if you want them to actually go in and open up the inbox, right? So thanks for signing up. All right, so thanks for signing up. Please check your inbox for the free cheat sheet. It's something as simple as that. So if you want to just show the thank you page, that's going to be how it goes. So now what we can actually do is trigger automation. So you can see this is going to be where we integrate. We can do that last. Now let's do trigger automation. So this is going to be the fun part where we can actually start doing some cool things in terms of automation. So this automatically starts when the contact submits the form on sign up form, which is exactly what's happening. So let's click on plus right here. And given the fact we want to send an email, let's do exactly that. Let's click on send an email. And we can do create a new email. Now, if you're feeling spicy, you can generate with AI. You can describe what this email is about. You can say, hey, it's a welcome email. Thank you so much for opting in. Here's where you can download your cheat sheet. You can also talk about what they're going to be seeing in future emails related to digital marketing and online business. That's something you can certainly do. And you can also change it around if you want to be witty and funny like me. Hey, I try to be, okay? Or you could be bold, enthusiastic, casual, friendly, any of those. It's pretty straightforward if you need help getting up and running with your email, okay? Aside from that, we also have templates. There are going to be the basic vanilla ones, which I happen to like. If you've seen any of my other videos, I always talk about I love the basic stuff. I think it converts better overall because there's less clutter. Just my opinion. There's also going to be the designed ones if you want, and also we have layouts if you want to roll that way. So really up to you the route you want to go there, and I'm just going to go with basic here just because it's easy to edit, and I'm going to go stay with this one. Let's do select. All right, so this is going to be pretty straightforward. This is going to be the email name. This is mostly going to be so what you know what it's called, okay? I just like doing the subject line the same as the email, but that's just me. So here's going to be the subject line. Click here to access your software cheat sheet. I like this because one, it is a call to action, as we talked about previously, why that's important, and two, it's a reminder of what they're getting. Clearly, if you're not sending out a software cheat sheet, you're going to want to change that around and, make it accommodate to what you're giving away. Or even if you're not giving away something like, thank you so much for signing up for my newsletter, important information or details about it, and so on and so forth. Next, we have a pre-header right here. If this field is left blank, the first line of your email will display. Now, this is going to be a little bit extra. I like to think of this as the headline and the subheadline. So I like adding curiosity here, like software number 2 is my favorite, ... Or you're getting a really big discount on this specific software. So whatever is related to this, you want to add a little bit more that's going to entice them to open. Because if they see this and they're like, oh, that's not too bad, but then they see something like this, like I'm giving away a free software as a bonus. They're like, okay, I think I'll check that out. So think of this as a little bit more in an extra way to help increase your clicks. And also keep in mind the first email that you send out is usually going to be the highest open. So it's going to be nice if you get even more opens because of that with the pre-header. We have our from email, standard basic stuff. And of course, this is going to be the design. Let's click on edit design. All right, so here we are. And if we notice, it's going to pretty much be the same layout as creating your sign up form, which is a good thing, right? So I'm not going to go over actually writing the email, but what I normally do when I do kind of tutorials with emails, I am going to give you wow, it's really hard to type and talk at the same time. I'm going to give you my template that you can use here, download access, and then you can fill it in based upon what you're going to be doing. And then for, like sign off, and then PS. It is very hard to think, talk, type all at the same time. So this is a template. It's pretty straightforward for your welcome email. So I'm going to go over and actually read what this email would be like, because I think it's going to save a lot of time that way, and it'll give you some ideas. Okay, so hey, thanks again for opting in to get your free software cheat sheet. As promised, you can click the link here to get access to it right away. Aside from that, I really hope that you open my future emails, as I'm going to be talking about very important things such as the case study where I turned $100 into $500, how I get organic traffic around the clock, allowing me to get leads and sales while I sleep, how I went from 0 to 30,000 followers in less than 40 days on TikTok while growing my business at the same time, and so on and so forth. So anything related to benefits that they opted in for, and something where if they saw that, they would say, ooh, I really want to see how that's done. It kind of creates an open loop or a hook for the future, so that when you send out an email, they're like, is this going to be the one where they talk about it? So just something to keep in mind. Aside from that, my name is James. I've been doing this since 2012, and I hope you enjoy your free gift. I'll talk to you soon. Just a simple sign off, okay? And then PS maybe. This is another good aspect for a cliffhanger. If you've ever seen an episode, I always think of Dexter when I talk about this. Like, he's about to get caught at the end, and then it goes to blank. It's black. You have to wait till next week. And like, oh my goodness. And you just have to watch. You have to know what happens. This is kind of going to be like an extra way to help get more clicks. You could say something like, oh, aside from that cheat sheet, I'm actually giving away software to you completely free tomorrow. Make sure you check your inbox. Otherwise, I'm not going to send it out at any other time. Be there or be square. Okay. Whatever you want to say, something like that where you say like, wow, you're actually giving me more bonuses. That's going to be a great incentive to open tomorrow. Something along the lines of that, or maybe you can tease something you're going to be talking about. Maybe you have a valuable gift, a tutorial, a training, whatever it is. I'm just giving you a lot of ideas to help you increase the clicks that you're going to be getting when using ActiveCampaign, obviously. So that is going to be the mini tutorial inside my tutorial about creating welcome emails. All of this is going to be business as usual. If you want to drag and drop something in there, you can do that. If you want to add a video, you can do that. There is the undo button as well, and there's going to be a delete section as well. This kind of shows you what you can do with all that. So there's going to be delete, and that's ideally going to be how you can create emails in this using automation. I think everything else is pretty straightforward, where you just simply drag and drop it in. So I don't need to go over this too much, but let's keep it as it is. Let's do save and exit. All right, so there's our email. Obviously, this would be, an actual email aside from a template. Let's click on finish. All right, great, and we're almost done. So there are going to be some suggested next steps, and keep in mind the number of actions remaining will also depend on the plan that you have here. Okay, so there's going to be some suggested ones, but if you want, all we can do is click on X here, and the automation is just automatically going to end. So you can just send one out there. You could wait a day, send another email like that really awesome one we talked about where they get that free software bonus. But there's simply just going to be one more task that you have to follow. Let's activate it, and we do that by clicking on the active button right here. So let's click here. All right, great. So we are now active. What we can actually do is check out the form and just kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. So let's go back to website right here. All right, so here's our form. Let's actually click on it once again. All right, and we had our trigger automation, right? So now what we want to do is integrate. So let's click on integrate right here. All right, so if you want to embed it, you can certainly do that a little bit more, not advanced, but you'll just need somewhere where you actually need to embed it inside, say like on a website or something similar to that. The link is easily going to be the best option for giving it to other people. So what I can do is click on it, I can copy it, and I'm going to paste it and put it in here. There's WordPress, so if you want to integrate with WordPress, I believe they have a plugin. Let's click on this here. And yes, you can download a plugin so that you can integrate it with your WordPress. It's pretty straightforward. If you download it, they're going to give you the steps. You unpack the plugin and just simply follow along with this. And I usually do get a laugh out of this Facebook aspect right here. Simply because this screenshot looks like it was like from Facebook in 2008. So, and I don't even know if Facebook pages have like this specific section where you can do that anymore, but it is still there nevertheless. But that's why I recommend just using the link. I'm going to open it up in a new tab and show you how it works. And there's our free software cheat sheet. So ideally, someone's going to enter in their email. They're going to click here to continue, and it's going to say, thank you. Check your inbox so that you can get your free cheat sheet. They're going to do that. Automation is going to kick in. And of course, that is how you can create a sign-up form in ActiveCampaign, and even better, leverage automation so that you can deliver your first email and any type of free gift that you might have to offer for your visitors. And that's going to conclude this tutorial, and I hope you got some value out of it. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up as it helps me out a ton. And if you haven't gotten to test out ActiveCampaign, you can click the link down below in the description or the pinned comment to get a free trial today. My name is James. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.